something a bit different today, and something you might see me doing a bit more often in the future. I'm just going to respond to something that I saw on Twitter, an interesting question. I think the nature of the work that I do, and for many people, is we often end up answering the same questions over and over again, and having this YouTube channel, being able to just create a video and put the answer out there, is something that I'm going to do more often. People write to me very often with questions, and too often I just repeatedly write the same answer back to many different people. And I think it's a really great idea for efficiency if you can just, create answers to common questions that you've been asked, or just interesting questions. We can refer other people to them then, and we can just create content that is shared rather than just replying to one person. Perhaps other people will find this useful as well. So here was the question asked by Tayyab Majid here, who, not to me directly, he just tweeted this. He's also a maths YouTuber, so do go and check out his videos if you haven't already. He does a lot of work around A-level further maths, but also other things. He says, any opinions on playing video explanations in class? Obviously I'd use my own explanation. And I saw this and I was about to type some Twitter comments, and I thought, no, make a video. That's what you do. So I actually think this is a great idea. And it's a bit controversial. I remember when I first started putting out YouTube videos as a school teacher years ago, I said to the students sort of jokingly, this is going to be great. Once I've filmed all the content for GCSE maths and for A-level, I won't have to teach you anymore. I can just come in, play my videos and sit and do something else while you watch them and get on with your work. Now, that was a joke. I wouldn't actually just play the videos and do nothing else. But in a way, I sort of think showing the videos themselves is actually a really good idea, whether it's yours or someone else's. Actually, a lot of us put a lot of time into creating really good video explanations, right? Some of my videos, when I've really thought about a topic and create content around them, contain my really sort of distilled thoughts on that topic, and it's quite hard sometimes to remember that a year on, or if you skip a couple of years of teaching that topic and come back to it. Actually, I would find myself referring to my own videos to remember how I wanted to teach it. And somehow just playing the video, although it seems like quite a lazy approach, if you're doing it in an engaged way, I think can actually be quite a good method. Maybe you wouldn't do it all the time. Perhaps it would be something that you would do just to mix up your teaching. There's a lot of benefits though, especially in larger classes where there's a lot going on. Actually, it might allow you to focus on the students more individually. I mean, what's really the difference between you standing there and writing things out again, making mistakes, doing it a bit, in a less sort of calm way, compared to just yourself, giving that same explanation? You can still pause the video. You can still take people's questions as it goes on. You can actually even respond and reflect on your own first attempt at it. Maybe you might even spot things, watching back your own teaching that you didn't spot before, and it can be a great way of reflecting on what you're doing. I find watching my videos back, actually this is probably the biggest problem with this method, is actually watching yourself back can be pretty difficult. Even when I've made something that I'm quite happy with, watching yourself back can make you cringe a little bit. But it can also, if you can get over that, help you reflect on the way you say things, the way you interact, and how your explanations are. I'm sure when I look back at this video, if I can bear to watch it, there'll be all sorts of things I think, I wish I hadn't said that. But that's the nature of teaching. So, I would say, Tayyab, why not? Why not do this? And in fact, yes, put your own explanations in there. That's a great thing to do. But, sometimes you could put someone else's explanations in there as well, and it could be just as good. If you get, if someone really expert has made a great video about a topic, and what you're going to do is just, try to recreate that yourself. Obviously, I think teachers need to be, have worked through it enough, and to be really confident that that explanation is one that they can hop in and answer questions about as well. But I think it could be a really good strategy. I guess that is the risk of this strategy, is that you could also just end up playing videos and engaging less in them, and anything that makes us less engaged is going to make us less effective, I think, as well. But a lot of teachers use PowerPoints and they have diagrams pre-prepared when they want to make an explanation of something. I use it for geometry and circle theorems and things like that all the time, things that are quite hard to make good pictures of. And this seems like just a bit of an extension of that. Now, on the whole, I'm actually quite against pre-prepared PowerPoint lessons that you just read out, because I think they can end up getting a little bit boring, and it is nice to see someone actually working through the maths themselves. But in some ways, this sort of lesson kind of fixes that problem, because you're still seeing the person actually working through the maths. So if I'm showing something that I've made before, that can be very useful. And the other benefit I think this has, if you get into the habit of doing things like this, is you really make the most of your time over the long run anyway, and you can kind of create a resource that the students can look back at. So when I started making the YouTube videos, I was doing it for classes that I was teaching myself at school, and there would be a web page where for their homework it would say sometimes, watch this video, and then in class we'd have a lot more time for problem solving, and that was really the idea of it. It was this sort of flipped learning experiment where it's a bit of an old-fashioned idea in a way, really, actually, where the things that you do for homework are preparing you for what comes in class, and you can do the sort of more routine bits outside of class and have more time in the actual lesson for spending time with students. But it had lots of side benefits. It meant that when students miss lessons, they could just click on the video and they could see what they've missed really easily. Parents, my colleagues could see how I was progressing through the work. I put their homework up there as well, and there were reminders. So, it took a bit of time to get into the habit of going to that website, but once they were doing it, it made this super efficient system, really, and meant that I spent a lot less time answering routine questions like what's the homework today, or what did we do last week, or all those sorts of questions. The answer to those questions was always look at the website, and then come and ask me if you've got any further questions. So there we go. Right, something a bit different today. I thought I would just give some thoughts about this interesting question. As I say, check out Taib's channel if you haven't already. If you haven't been here before, my name's Kevin. I make maths videos here on YouTube, and I'm making lots of online courses at the moment as well, including a lot of free ones to do with the UKMT maths challenges. I'll put links in the description below if you haven't seen those already. So please do like the video, please share, and let me know what you think about this. Is this a good idea? Is this just lazy teaching, or is it a way that we can progress teaching and make it more effective?